Oh, hard cut.
Oh, that happened? Yeah. Wow. Great.
Oh, no, or was it? Oh, no, it wasn't there. Oh, I see.
So we can just lay it wherever.
It's a bit, isn't it?
A little bit.
Safe
Keep
sense.
the tissues in.
Would you like the hat to go? Moreno?
Cowboy.
All right. Erika?
Yeah, thank you.
Dave.
Did
you want to head?
Adama's he's a photographer, so I told him to pick where.
Would you like a hat?
We don't know whose keyboard it is, but that's his camera.
Okay.
Howdy.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
Hot chocolate.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Lights.
Yeah, good luck to on the table.
I'm just going to run this on the inside of your hands so it's just quietly.
Okay. Gratitude, awareness, compassion, wisdom, strength, abundance, joy, and humor. Nice to see you all. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Who's leading this roadshow?
I am, so here we go.
Thank you, Dan.
Yes, and greetings. Thank you, Sensei, and everyone for being here. There is much gratitude to be with so many awakened beings. It brings me joy. This is an annual meeting required by Canadian law. Many efforts culminated into this celebration. The time per presentation has been set and is brief and to the point. May our gathering benefit all beings, and I will give a loving kindness reminder with 2 minutes to go in your presentation. I will give may it benefit all beings reminder when there's 1 minute to go. Sensei will overrule.
5 minutes to go?
Yeah.
I'm muted.
Sensei would like the reminder of 5 minutes left.
5 minutes left? Okay. And Sensei will overrule that as needed.
Oh my. Such power.
And then, right. And then, gosh, with gratitude, we've got a brief targeted meeting. Let's begin. It'll be Sensei and then members of the executive team as well as board presenting. Karen as chair, who's leaving, and then Richard will give financials and so on. But we'll just go in order, and Sensei will open and close the meeting. So without further ado, please hear what Sensei has to say, and please share.
Thanks so much, Dan. Thank you, everybody. I think I'm gonna have to take my hearing aids out. That means it's a wild party. Yeah. Okay, welcome everybody to Clear Skies annual general meeting for the year 2024. It's a kind of birthday party, right? Once a year. and a celebration of another successful year. It's a big celebration for those of us who were here in the beginning, because there were times when we weren't sure we would have another AGM. So it really is like, wow, 20 years. For us, it's very festive. And real joy to hear people's summaries of what their year was like, because it's just gotten better and better over the years. Oh gosh, 2024 was quite a year, as we all know. It was remarkable in so many ways. It was almost prescient that Capel and I started the year teaching on the Bardos. And we had the 5 stages of emptiness retreat. I taught Astrodharma and a breathing retreat, Anapanasati. And Capel was asking me to teach more because he wanted to teach less. And there weren't that many things he wanted to teach anymore, because he felt like he'd already taught them. So there were a lot of signs that he was coming to a place of closure, and that would be one of them. We taught the classics Eightfold Ennobling Path, and Capel really outdid himself teaching on relative and absolute truth in the weekend Razor's Edge retreat. After that, he was not a man to be pigeonholed, so he was always innovating. And Capel and his editor Jessica completed Synot, his 3-volume sci-fi dharmic memoir. It's going to be very interesting to market, right? I don't think that's a category on Amazon. I don't think that's the first of its genre, we could say. And under Chris Volley's talented guidance, we're planning to release it in October to mark the anniversary of Capel's passing. Of course, we experienced the movement of the mandala together. It was such an extraordinary body of work done in a group together, and an active group meditation, which was really becoming more and more important to Capel at the end of his life. He was in such outstanding form in that retreat, and it was so interesting that it was the first and the last retreat that he ever did. At Clear Sky's 20th anniversary, he exhorted us to explore integral and group guru, and launched our Temple Constructions Capital campaign. And as you know, he passed away suddenly 2 weeks later on the night of October 5th, probably from a heart attack. We're actually still waiting for the final autopsy, which the coroner says is a sign of the drug epidemic, that their autopsies are so backed up. Then he visited us after his death twice with Northern Lights, which I like to think of as the Canadian rainbow body. It was a very visceral, full body celebration of his incredible lifetime of sharing radiant compassion and radiant consciousness. We had a beautiful wake with him, including a Demcho Wangkor in his honor. We had a Sangha pilgrimage together to Seattle to escort his body there for termination, with a Namjal ceremony to bid his body goodbye, for this lifetime anyway. I then taught a weekend retreat on the Wheel of Dependent Origination, and then our final course of the year was very appropriately on Group Guru. We had a wonderful celebration of life with, of course, very excellent karaoke and some of the well-aged scotch that he received from various students at the movement of the mandala. And at the year-end retreat at Clear Sky, we enjoyed some precious time together in Sangha, grew our collective foundation work, and did protective deity practice for the future of Clear Sky and these teachings. It's so amazing to think that we've actually had an AGM 20 times. It's remarkable. Some have been very memorable. And it's been really wonderful to behold us as a beloved community becoming a beloved community rather than like these people I have to put up with. And as we become more skilled, more communicative, more creative, as people share what's happened for them over the year. Of course, I'd like to say a very special mudita to Karen, who was a very talented board member for 5 years when Duncan was chair. Is that right? Supporting him when Duncan was chair, helping build Clear Sky, helping build a healthy board of directors and a healthy on-site team, which they did so capably, followed by 10 years of Karen's leadership as chair of the board. And I can very sincerely say that Clear Sky wouldn't be what it is today without Karen's leadership. She brought in many important methodologies. One that jumps out for me is the thinking environment, for example, which really helped the board and the whole on-site team get over a kind of hump where some people are good talkers and fast talkers and have fast minds, and so we would do a lot of the talking, and other people would maybe be considering what they wanted to say, and by the time they knew, we'd probably moved on to the next thing. And Karen brought in different methodologies to make sure that everyone's voice was heard, and that was really helpful to balance out the energies and the perspectives. And that's just one example of the many things that she's brought to our organization and our community. Notably, she guided the board and the on-site teams to transform so that the board could step back from its previous very hands-on approach. The board was previously very involved with operations of Clear Sky, and under Karen's leadership, it could step back and fulfill its true governance role. And this really helped empower the leadership of the on-site residents so that the on-site team could step into more of an executive team position. So, yeah, developing leadership on both sides, on the board side and on the on-site team side. Karen's also cultivated a very fine advisory board, which has served her, Clear Sky, and all beings well. It's been a real pleasure to witness Karen's skill in helping so many people develop leadership and many other skills that are so helpful for maturing this conscious community and this transformative organization known as Clear Sky, and for benefiting all beings. So Maha Mudita Karen, for all the merit you've generated over the years. I'm so excited for you to begin this new phase of your life when you'll have the time and space to pursue some of your other dreams. And I'm also very excited for the new board, the newer board of directors that Karen has invited to take over the helm of Clear Sky's governance. Damon, Richard, Michelle, Erica, you bring many skills and such valuable experience. Thank you so much for joining us in this capacity. I know that 2025 will be a very important year for Clear Sky. Now that we're 20 years old, we're growing up. And the organization's growing up, and we're growing up as individuals as well. Capel really handed us the reins of our own unfoldment and one another's unfoldment, and the reins to this blessed Buddha field known as Clear Sky. Thank you, and may it benefit all beings.
Thank you so much, Sensei, for sharing and your insights. Way under time, so it puts us in a good position to have the leaving board chair Karen McAllister continue with presentations in the 2025 AGM celebrating 2024.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much.
You're gonna be up.
I'm going to be up here.
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
They can see me.
Dean's gonna move the camera.
Realizing I'm wearing the black hat.
And
Go to the first. Wait till I get it done. Okay, thank you, Catherine Sensei. I printed some paper because this is what Capel used last year. So. No, thank you. Right. I'm going to begin with a poem. A poem to Capel. I called it For Capel, Our Lighthouse Keeper. So as I begin to say the poem, you can do the slides, okay? And just say a few seconds for each side and then move on. Sarasvati, do your job. Okay, so for Capel, our lighthouse keeper, you laughed and danced us awake, sang the stars down to the kitchen table, trained us in love's fierce tenderness. 1,000 drive-by lessons hidden in a glance. Sorry, I didn't know I was going to cry. 1,000 drive-by lessons hidden in a glance, a joke, a nudge beyond our limits. You lived ahead of us, blazing trails into the next turning of the dial wheel. Where evolution is sacred, where kitchen quarrels and quantum fields are one, where emptiness shimmers with pizza and laughter. In your last days, you spoke of the lighthouse. You can slow down the slides. A beacon for seekers bold enough to step into the unknown. A temple for evolutionists of the spirit. Not just to sit, but to rise, to dance, to love, to build the new world the old masters glimpsed but dared not enter. You loved us ferociously. Training us to suffer less, pushing us past every I can't, past every hidden fear of our own brilliance. You taught us not just awakening, but awakening that can hold a mortgage, awakening that can cook a stew, an awakening that plants a seed and changes a world and builds a cabin. Now Sensei stands, steady in your wide footprints, her arms full of temples, teachings, thousands and thousands of new seedlings. Duncan training and developing new leaders under Sensei's guidance. Karen opening the gates to Europe and the integral world, connecting Sensei's voice with those ready to hear. Mo stirring apples and systems into wisdom. Sensei Michelle tending the land with holistic management. Michelle brings her farm girl's heart, protecting the earth that shelters our dreams. Ava and Erica riding the breath of horses. Dean fencing the edges of our dreams, organizing our pilgrimage to the stands. Dave lightening our footprints on this earth. Jeff, look at me. Jeff returning to the compost what no longer serves. We are all here, beloved teacher, beloved Capel. You built us for this. Sensei with the on-site team placed black diamond treasures, meteor, relic, iron, prayer into mountains and rivers, each a seed of your wish, that the teachings live, that they protect all beings who seek. This September we walk the stands without you, or rather with you in every step. We walk with you, we walk for you. The great net you cast across time catches us still, pulls us forward, laughing and crying. into the new bright world you glimpsed. Our hearts are your lighthouse now, lit by the fire you left burning, wide enough for mountains, fierce enough for love, radiant enough for the whole wide sky. Thank you, dear Captain of Awakening. Thank you, dear Capel. We see you dancing just beyond the next horizon. We are coming and we are ready. The end. Yeah, okay. So, this is my speech following that. So, when I came, thank you. When I came on this chair in 2014, it was a pivotal moment. The same year Planet Dharma was born. At that time, the teachers, Capel and Sensei, were feeling the pull between teaching and getting drawn too deeply into Clear Sky's organizational development. They wanted to protect the purity of their role as teachers, and that made a lot of sense. When I stepped in, Clear Sky itself was going through a big transition. Planet Dharma had just formed, and Clear Sky needed to adjust to that new reality. Meanwhile, the board had lost its sense of purpose. Up until then, it had been more of a working board, where everyone wore multiple hats, and governments was something we could barely lift our heads to look at. There was also a huge turnover around that time. Duncan, Linda Ho, Jane Casey stepped down, and suddenly the board was a little board of Dan and Mary Lynn and Karen. Then Dean jumped in, brand new part of the team. In those early days, I tried to focus on bringing fundraising capacity onto the board. It didn't unfold the way I had hoped. However, there were bright spots. So Mary Lynn trained and grew into an actual excellent fundraising board member. She did a beautiful job. She's got that wonderful promoter skills, and her attention to details due to training with her trainer Michelle had really developed over the years. Dan learned how to be a really solid secretary. And Dean, coming from admin, brought care for Clear Sky's finances as treasurer. But still, we were adrift. We didn't have a clear sense of why the board existed, especially with two very strong spiritual directors, Capel and Sensei, still living at Clear Sky and involved in daily operations. At one point, Sensei suggested I create a criteria list to help clarify what kind of board Clear Sky really needed. Much to my reluctance, I sat down and did that and worked on that and brought it to Sensei and Duncan. And through that process, it became very clear to me over the following few years is that Clear Sky didn't need a working board anymore. It needed a protector board, a board that could stand guard over the vision, a board that could stand guard over the land and the teachings. So that clarity became even sharper after COVID and during the turbulent and still turbulent Trump era. Times when it felt like the world was becoming more unstable and increasingly is, and actually sacred places like ours needed stronger stewardship. So I began refining the criteria list and using it as a compass to approach potential board members more thoughtfully. So Sensei kind of suggested that we actually also create an advisory board to help bridge wisdom in the board's evolution. And the first advisory board was Sensei, Karen, and Duncan. The old guard ready to let go of its protection, of its role as protectors. So then both Duncan and Sensei stepped away, and I invited others. At one stage we had Sarah Breyer, Tim Tapping, Michelle Chareau, Meg O'Leary, Christine Lyons, Richard Arnold, Larry Grandbar, and Pawan Tahil Ramani. And eventually, as all things do, the advisory board found its steady rhythm with Sarah Breyer, Michelle Chareau, and Tim Tapping. As we grew stronger, then, then one day Damon decided to visit Clear Sky. And such a dapper gentleman from England, led by an Irish revolutionist. That made for an interesting team. Anyway, as we got to know each other, we fought and we loved and we struggled, didn't we, Damon? And I realized that actually he would make a very beautiful board member. He had years of experience of looking at rules and regulations and protecting organizations on so many fronts. And at the same time, then after hearing and feeling Michelle Chereau out on the advisory board, I thought, she would make a very good team member too. And Michelle was like, no, I don't want to be a board member. I'm happy being advisory. But finally, she decided, she saw the light. And I had this sneaking suspicion that Damon and Michelle had similar expertise, qualities, and that they would actually really like each other and like working in a team with each other. And lo and behold, I was right. So much so that I said to Damon one day when we were talking, I was like, when I'm with you, Michelle, I feel left out. And he's like, yeah, I'm sure you do. You get on really well. And I said, I'm already feeling important. And I really did. I felt like I could just leave this team and they would get on protecting Clear Sky, and I wouldn't be needed. And that's great. That's really great.
Loving kindness with 5 to go.
Thank you. Thank you. So from there, the governance board began for the first time in Clear Sky's history, I feel. And we started to actually define the board purpose. And we actually started looking at and go through line by line over through the director's insurance during the movement in Mandela when I couldn't walk. And we'd be sitting in the master room going through line by line by line. And I'm North Node in Aquarius in the 6th house, so detail isn't my thing. And I was getting blissed out by going through line and line with Damon and Michelle because they were just wonderful. They were very protecting. They were really cared for Clear Sky and very cared for them by wanting to actually get the detail right. And that hasn't been my strength and will never be my strength. I'll get better at it, but I finally felt like I had the right people in the right roles, and my energy started to let go of being in this holding position for so long. And we started to engage in stress testing our structures, right, in case of abuse of some kind by some crazy person out there. And there are a lot of crazy people out there at the moment, right? So just stuff like that. And we started to review and update the bylaws, right? So actually governing functions. All this to ensure that Clear Sky and the precious teachings it protects could thrive for many, many generations to come. And so with that, I'm going to hand it over to Damon, who's the future chair as from the end of the AGM. And I want to thank Damon, and I want to thank Michelle and Richard. Richard, for your contribution, your love, your help, and your care and your teamwork going forward. Right. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. Can you all hear me, folks? Just want to check that. Is that good? Thank you very much. Dan, yeah, 5 minutes is good, but 2 minutes would be good as well for me, okay? So as a vice chair, I don't really have a report, but what I want to do is to celebrate our chairperson who is now leaving, Karen, and just reflect on a few items that maybe haven't already been included by Sensei and by Karen. So when I started to think about how to do this, I was just thinking, Karen's so good at so many things and so talented. And I thought, yeah, let's make a list of all of those things. And although other board members didn't know quite that that's what I was doing, I've also learned what they thought stood out from Karen as well. So I'm going to read you a list, okay? And I'll do it slowly. And every time I mention one point, if you think this applies to Karen, then please wave your hands, clap your hands, or shake whatever you have in your hand, okay? Okay, so it's quite a long list. So we'll start with dedication. Devotion to service of the teachers and the Sangha. Stamina. Yeah. Leadership, of course. capacity to make things happen, wisdom. I bet a lot of people know this one. Persuasiveness. Being awe-inspiring. Stimulating. Insightful. Energetic. Generous. A planner. A visionary. A creator in incredibly big Excel spreadsheets. A high-speed master of Google everything. And an extraordinary talent that I wish I had, which is to type up agenda notes at the same time as leading a meeting, or as Karen calls them, a party. Extraordinary. A lot of fun. And this is a very important one for when you're actually in a meeting with Karen in the same place. Doesn't work when you're on Zoom, but she's a great lover of good quality chocolate and is very generous with it. And certainly I know that Michelle and I, when we were going through line by line of those insurance documents, it was only the chocolate that kept us going. It wasn't our love of reviewing insurance documents. Okay, so yeah, next page number 2. In terms of the board, as we've heard from Sensei, Karen, I understand, absolutely transformed the board. And it's now in a place that's very different. The world we're in at Clear Sky is very different, and very important, at least to the board now, is that we have to be ready for the scrutiny of potential donors of large sums of money to help us to fund the temple. So that is very much what we're working on these days. So Karen referred to the work we did on purpose and also on what we did on risk management. And I think it's worth saying something specific about risk management. When we went through the risks, we wrote them all down, and then we had a meeting. So I think it was Sensei, it was Capel, it was Karen and me. Michelle may have been there as well. And we went through the risks, and I was talking to the paper that we'd written. And one of the first things we said, and I was a little anxious about saying this, I have to say. I was a little anxious to say that one of the biggest risks was that Capel would die. And so this was I think September the 23rd. What was very important to me, also as the potential, and you have to confirm this. I'm not the chair of the board until you agree to that later on at this meeting, if you do indeed. But to say it out loud that was a risk, that it was a real risk, and it was a huge thing to me that Capel and you, Sensei, just took that very seriously and spoke openly very much about that as how it's something we would all have to deal with. That was very important and very moving as well. And actually, as I speak about it now, I feel very moved again by that.
Loving kindness with 4 minutes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. There's a whole bunch of things we've got to do still. We've got to get the membership in place. We've tried very hard to do that. We've written an excellent text that's been affirmed. Sensei is very happy with that. But we need it looked at by a lawyer, and it's actually very hard to find any competent lawyers who reply to your requests in anything less than 6 weeks. And we're trying very hard to find someone who's suitable. I think we may have done so. That's very important. And we'll be going through the bylaws. Dan, we'll probably be trying to get you back to help us with that. We'll go through the bylaws and review them. That's going to be lots of fun. Michelle, looking forward to doing that with you. And now what do I want to say next? Yeah, all of that said. Another thing that I'd really like to thank Karen for, and she did refer to it, is the way that she manages to maintain a focus on, and what some people call training, but it's like building up an insight into how one reacts to different phenomena and how we are with each other. And as Karen spoke to, we get on pretty well, but we do bounce just occasionally. And I have to say, I find that rather fun. I think I've always found it fun. And as Karen said, Capella pointed out this about how interesting it would be to have an Englishman and an Irish person in the same room working on the same thing and what that might evoke. And as Karen said, she comes from a kind of nationalist family. And Capel certainly didn't know this, but back in the earlier 20th century, my father told me just before he died, about 100 years ago, my family had the opportunity, 2 minutes, yeah, this is a bit personal, this one, to claim the line of Baron Carbery, who is an Anglo-Irish person, a family that went to Ireland back in Cromwell's day and probably was responsible for a lot of killing of Irish folk. So here was Karen and me from a line of Anglo-Irish people working on the same team together. And yeah, we bounced. But I think, Karen, it's been fun, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Was that really? I found it fun anyway. So it's been fantastic to work with you, Karen. It'd be a shame that you won't still be staying on the board, but it would be challenging probably for me to start off new with a person who's been there already for 10 years. So good luck with your new role, with all this freedom you're going to have to explore new things in the future, one of which is going to be the key person who's going to be raising more money for the temple. And we'll do our best to support you in affirming the professionality of Clear Sky as a charity and as a board of directors for that charity. So wish you well. I'll be seeing you all the time anyway. So thank you very much from me and from the board. Thank you. And thank you.
Oh, yeah, see you on the advisory. Duncan and I will be joining them for the advisory board.
Yeah, that's true.
And next up, we have the treasurer's report. Thank you, Richard, for your leadership on treasurer.
David, are we not doing gifts now?
Yeah, whenever you want to do it.
I've got the plan to do that after Dean's presentation.
Didn't hear anything, Karen.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all. Can you put the first slide up, please, Dan? And the next one. Okay, and the next one. So overall, yes, that was a little birthday celebration there. Overall, 2024 was a very good year financially for Clear Sky. We had a surplus of income over expenses of around $293,000, a very dramatic increase over 2023. Our total income was up by 54% to $664,000. And at the same time, our expenses only rose 11% to $372,000. So a very good year. The two main contributing factors that led to these results were the wonderful success of the movement of the Mandala retreat, which contributed to an increase of operating revenues of 21% to $414,000, plus a major increase in donations of 174% to $250,000, which was quite remarkable. Just note there that in some ways the first number, the $414,000 in operating revenues, is the more important one for the short term, because it's what helps us to run the center. The donations are primarily targeted for specific things, primarily in this case the temple, and are really not meant to be used in operating activities. The dramatic increase in donations was mainly due to a very successful fundraising campaign for the temple project, which raised somewhere in the neighborhood of $150,000 to $200,000. And I think big thanks for that go to Karen, who spearheaded that activity. I think you can go to, yeah, you can go to the next slide now, please. The only major increase in our operating expenses was caused by the need to replace part of our heating system in the sanctuary building, which resulted in an unplanned expense of nearly $70,000. In general, our operating expenses increased in line with the overall increase in the activity on the property. In particular, food costs rose 45%, and the core operations costs, which is basically the cost of running the center, were up by 23%, as was the asset management costs, which is the upkeep on the property, maintenance and buildings and equipment. However, at the same time, the property projects decreased by 66%, and as a result, our overall operating expenses only increased by 11%, which was very good compared to the increase in the revenues. Digging a little deeper into the numbers, the operating revenues reflected a significant increase in the in-person activity on the property, which is really the main difference between what was going on in 2023 and what happened in 2024. There was a major increase in on-property activity. Accommodation revenue was up 29%, food revenue was up 31%, and although food costs increased a bit more rapidly by 45%, we still managed to cover the cost of providing meals and make a little bit of money on the side too. The only revenue category that decreased was program fees, which went down by 16% to $54,000. This was a result of more on-site programming and fewer online courses, which generate a higher level of program fees. I think yeah, you can go to the next slide, please. There. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, go back to the bar charts. Anyway, thanks. And you can go to the next one, Dan. On the expenses side, the increase of 23% in core operations costs was largely due to the 20% $20,000 increase in retreat material costs, which came about because of the increased expense of all the wonderful creative work that was done on staging the movement of the Mandala retreat, including tents and all sorts of things. The 23% increase in the asset management cost can be tracked back to our need to modernize part of our heating system, which was already mentioned, $70,000. Overall, the 53% increase in revenues, coupled with an 11% increase in expenses, resulted in a very healthy increase in net income, which can now be invested in the future of Clear Sky. It reflects the excellent work done by the teachers and the management team at Clear Sky to provide wonderful programming and a high quality environment for all beings at Clear Sky. The encouraging growth in the Temple Fund this year also bodes well for the future of Clear Sky. Hopefully, we will be in a position to move on to the next phase of the temple building project in the near future. And sorry, I'm dancing around between.
No problem. Take your time.
Yeah.
Cowboy.
Well, this is my tribute to Capel. All right, so looking forward to next year, let's shift our attention now to the balance sheet comparison of 2024 versus 2023. I probably say this every year. A balance sheet is essentially a document that presents a snapshot of the financial history of an organization and is divided into two sections: assets versus liabilities plus equity. On the asset side, we have fixed assets of property, buildings, equipment, and so on, valued at approximately $1,733,000. And this hasn't changed much between 2023 and 2024. However, the important part of the asset is the current assets, which is composed of bank accounts, accounts receivable, and inventory. This is where we have to pay attention to the balance sheet. These have increased in total by 180% and 187% during 2024, and now total $328,000. This increase, which is very nice to see, this increase is the result of the increase in the Temple Fund bank account mainly. And we need to keep in mind that this is a dedicated fund and the money in it is not intended to be used for operating activities. So the leftovers after you take the $250,000 off is about $78,000, which is what we have for operating activities. Our main liabilities are two mortgages on our building held by Man City. They total about $750,000. We also have other long-term debts, which are various loans received from members mostly for the Oasis project, totaling $110,000. Our current liabilities, which include accounts payable, taxes, deposits on receipts, or retreats rather, total only $15,000. So total liabilities are about $875,000. The difference between assets of $2 million, total assets, long-term and current, of $2,060,000 versus liabilities of 875 is our equity, which is $1,185,000. This, in the view of any bank, is a very healthy ratio of debt to equity, and means that we're in good shape. Overall,
Loving kindness with about 5 minutes, and we recognize your report is important, so take the time you need.
I think I'll be finished in 5 minutes. Anyway, overall, I've already said this, but the 53% increase in revenues, coupled with the 11% increase in expenses, has generated a very healthy net income, which we can use for the future of Clear Sky. And I really want to repeat the point that it reflects on truly excellent work done by the teachers and the management team at Clear Sky. And I can testify to the excellence of the programming and the high quality environment that is provided as a longtime retreater at Clear Sky. The other really strong thing that I want to note about this year is a very encouraging growth in the Temple Fund, which really bodes well for the ongoing prospects for the future of the Temple project itself, which hopefully we can move into the next phase soon. And overall, I'd like to say thank you, everybody, for all your work, and I'll hand it back to Dan.
So much.
Dan, sorry, could I just say a few words to everybody about Richard? Richard's been a long-term supporter for Clear Sky. He employed Capel in the early years when Capel was in between, helped Capel continue to study with Rinpoche. He's also been one of the people who put forward his money for the first cabin, so that, the couple of us put forward the money for the cabin. He was one, and he's just been this loyal kind of financial supporter in the background over the years, and
for the initial purchase of Clear Sky.
And for the initial purchase of Clear Sky too, and I just don't want you to go unnoticed because it's been a quiet loyalty for the last 20 years or so. Sue Patel spent the end of teaching and Clear Sky, so thank you very much.
May I ask Richard a question, or does that happen at the end?
As you
Is that fine, Dan? Do we have time?
Please go ahead, yes.
Okay, Richard, if we were to separate out the funds developed for the temple, super great job on that, Karen. Can you say a little bit about, because we do plan to spend those funds, so can you say a little bit about Clear Sky's financial situation if those were set to the side?
Yeah, I mean, the really good thing about the results this year, even setting aside all the donations, is that Clear Sky still made money on the operations itself. So I wouldn't be concerned about that money being spent on the temple project. I would like to be involved in the decision making when you actually do decide to spend it, just to make sure that the situation hasn't changed. Because I mean, it really depends on ongoing operations. How well we're doing. We do have a decent cushion right now, but the environment in the world is very weird at the moment, and things can change quickly. So,
right.
yeah,
raised funds at the perfect time, right?
Yeah.
They're very financially secure in a very financially insecure climate.
Yeah, which doesn't mean that we can't spend that temple fund money, but it does mean that we should be a little bit cautious about how quickly we do it. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Amazing timing.
Yeah.
If we started the temple campaign now, it would be very different, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. As personal retreats, is Dean, would you please give your review?
Sure, thank you. Let's see, we'll move this so you can see me when I get there.
I'll take it over.
Okay.
You got 10 minutes.
Oh, this will be much less than that. Yeah, good. Just show the slide. Well, I think to start off by thanking Sensei for her remarkable leadership since Capel's passing, and Capel for all of his leadership up until that point. So all the good news that we're hearing from Karen and from Richard is a testament to your leadership. So I'm going to be real brief. Part of my portfolio is managing personal retreats, which is sort of our second most biggest revenue stream that we have for revenue. And I'm not going to get you bored with all the numbers. You may have noticed on one of Richard's graphs that we had over $40,000 in revenue from personal retreats last year. And we exceeded our targets in the budget. We had more Sangha retreatants, we had more new retreatants coming. So that was really great to see. And one of the reasons is this, which if you don't know what that is Orion Cabin, which Capel was really pushed us to get built fast. And we had Jordan here doing this beautiful job. And it was officially opened and inaugurated by Sensei in the early spring of 2024. And if you are planning, any of you off-site, to come and do a retreat, you want to get this booked into this cabin as soon as you can. It is a hot item. The on-site team kind of coveted a bit, so we don't like to share the space. But it is a gorgeous space. It now gives us 4 cabins to host retreatants. And I wanted to, just this morning I came in and there was an envelope in the Clear Sky Donna Bowl, and I took it out and it was full of paper. I thought, what is this? And we just had a local retreatant, her first time out here, just finished a retreat yesterday, and she had gone through and written a note to everybody, thanking them for her experience. To each person here, as well as the horses, as well as Sonora, as well as the cabin. I got it here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so what it shows, and she just said what a remarkable space it is. She thanked Sensei for her vision. She thanked everybody for creating this space. She plans on coming back on an annual basis now. But it really shows the team effort that we are all doing to create an offering that is really touching people. I think we can all say that when we have retreatants come now, we've got a sharp team that knows how to host people well, that knows how to look after people, and that we never get negative feedback from people on retreat. And I want to give a shout out to Ava and her work in trying to boost our profile on Google. We get a lot of new retreatants contacting me, and they say, I didn't even know you guys existed. I hit Google and you were the first one that came up. And so it's super. So it's a real testament to the work we've been doing in amidst all of the other work we're doing, that we have this core offering that really touches people who are first-time visitors, that touches people who are long-time members. One of the big things we're seeing is Sangha doing long retreats. We had Charles do a 3-month retreat last year. We had other people doing 1-month retreats. And this year is probably going to be a little bit leaner because of the stands and some other things. We're not expecting as many people, but going forward, I think we're going to see that people now can come here and really do the deep work in a space that really supports that. So I want to thank all of the team here for making that happen, and encourage everybody who's online, come on out and take part in what we have to offer here. That's me.
Thank you. Well, on behalf of the board, I'm presenting the voting for the board. For today, I'm acting as secretary on behalf of the board, and we have a proposal for the changes in the board going forward. There are a number of things in the proposal, a number of people that are transitioning roles. So I make a motion that we vote on them all together in one vote. Do I have a second?
I second.
All right. So all for voting together as a group?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah. Anybody opposed? The motion carries. As such, Richard Arnfield will continue as treasurer. Martin Loxton will move from vice chair to the board at the end of this AGM meeting. Erica Rasmussen will assume the secretary portfolio as of the end of the meeting. And Michelle Giroux will continue as member at large. I exited the board November 30th last year and am happy to continue helping as the board would like me to do.
You don't.
And Karen McAllister, as was said, after 10 years, and then there were, I think, at least 5 years before that as well, is leaving chair at the end of this meeting, and Dave Basu-Roy will leave the board at the end of this meeting. I move that this proposal is accepted. Do I have a second? Yeah.
Please clarify. I think Damon Martin Loxton will be chair. Was that the?
Didn't I said that vice chair to board chair?
Okay.
Oh, board
and
chair.
Eric Rasmussen, secretary. Is that
She's
correct?
not secretary.
Yes.
Is she member? Director
She
at large?
is the board liaison, the on-site liaison for the board.
Who will be the on-site liaison?
Erica.
Okay. I will write that into the proposal.
And can you add to that, Dan, that she's acting secretary, because we have to have a secretary officially.
Acting secretary.
If that's not her full role.
And on-site liaison.
Have you guys spoken about that? Do you know what that means?
Yes.
To be acting secretary?
Yes, she does.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, super.
And do I have a second on this proposal?
Yeah.
I'll second again.
Well, seconded by Sensei. Sorry, you were late. And all in favor with a voice vote. You also can vote in the chat.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you,
Thank you so much for all the talent that has been supporting the board over the years and going forward. Next up, Sensei, I would like to nod to you, and then you could please take care of the business that you've prepared.
Taking care of the business. Okay. I would like to offer Karen these very modest tokens of our tremendous appreciation for all that you've done for Clear Sky, and I'm sure we'll continue to do. We tremendously respect all your contributions and talents and support of everyone here and the board and all beings, and are so excited for you in this next phase of your life.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Mudita, for the mountain of merit you've generated.
Thank you. Thank you, Sensei. Thank you, everybody.
Mudita.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a real joy to lead the board. It's had its ups and downs, but I've really cherished trying to figure it all out and move this thing to a higher level of growth. And I just loved the team, the developing teamwork, and precious leaders of Capel and Sensei. It's just been really great fun. So thank you, and I wish Damon and Michelle and Erica and Richard the best of luck going forward.
Thank you.
Thank
You know
you,
where
Karen. Thank you.
Duncan is. You know where I am, and you know where Duncan is in terms of if you need any support going forward.
Oh, yeah, we'll be calling on you.
Oh, yeah.
They're hard shoes to fill, but I
Yes,
have high expectations for Damon.
Yeah. With that gratitude in mind, we'll be taking a 10-minute break. Right now I'm in Central Time, so it's 11:02 here. It's 10:02 in Mountain Time. So at 10:12, please come back.
We're almost there with our Google Spaceholder phone for two-factor authentication. It's working. We just the two-factor works. We just need to have people using it. So we'll get there. And then it also has a great camera for more great Facebook photos. And then June was really wonderful in migrating our Google Analytics to the newest platform for that. So we can see, she pulled all of our old data, and then we can continue to collect really great data for Sensei's favorite SEO collection.
Loving kindness, 5 minutes.
Thanks, Dan. And then the next slide, please. And so looking ahead to this year's really focusing on the website. I'm looking at getting support from developers to really beautify it. With regards to it came about particularly with regards to really honoring Capel's legacy, really shining a light as a incredible being and our founding teacher. We really wanted to also, more so than it currently is, celebrating Sensei as our head teacher, and really highlighting, elevating the residents as well as the foundation for Group Guru. So just really taking the website I built it in 2019, and it's ready to, I was learning web design at the time, so it was a little more stop-start, and so now is the time we have the space to really take it to the next level and reflect where we are now as an organization. And just for Karen and the board, well, for all of us, we're also working on a temple donations page, quadruple bottom line pages, and a lot of folks through the SEO find us through Googling integral. So I want to also highlight integral content as well on the website and continue Capel's legacy in that way. I want to make ourselves more visible to an American audience, and then continue with focusing on Karma Yoga program and empowering residents to create videos and blogs about their passions, such as recycling. Wink, wink, if you haven't seen Dave's blogs, that was Sensei sparking a fire there, thank you. And largely just continuing to shine Capel's light into the future in alignment with Sensei as our CEO. So, thank you all.
Thank you. And I apologize. I made a mistake on the order, so I would like to welcome Duncan Kreil to give his presentation now.
And in my Yamcho colors in honor of Capel. So I'm going to talk mainly about the programming side. You can go to the next slide, okay? So Sensei talked a little about this already in her opening. But yeah, first of all, just want to celebrate Capel, and thank you, Tony, for that beautiful picture. Yeah, Sensei said it was really 2024. It was really a landmark teaching. They just thought the teachings in 2024 for Capel were just something else. Really, the year before, starting with the 12 Manjushris, and I forget if something mentioned in her intro, but moving the mantle was the first retreat Sensei did, right, with Rinpoche 50, Capel did 50 years before. So that was kind of, yeah, what an incredible year. So yeah, just want to acknowledge that it was such a blessing for the last year to have those teachings. We can move on.
Your maraca matches your hat.
Yeah. Got to be color coordinated.
Yeah. So was your microphone.
And then celebrating Sensei. I mean, Sensei was involved in a lot of those teachings before, and then afterwards, well, as we've all seen, just been incredible. I mean, what a transition. So there's a beautiful picture there of the Bardo prayers, the 49 days. Sensei really held the space and held us through that. Hamster wheel, Taro Sangha, Sensei mentioned. And I just love this photo. This is from when Sensei and I visited Seattle, the Terramation. And we were just walking through a park, and then there was all these climbing frames, and then I looked around and Sensei was halfway up this climbing frame. I was like, oh, hell's bells, fuck. So I ran up the climbing frame after her because I've got to catch my llama or she falls down. But I just thought it was a lovely photo, sort of indicating how Sensei sort of boldly just kind of gone into new territories and yeah, just bravely gone forward. So thank you, Sensei.
It was, I think, built for children, and both Duncan and I thought it was too dangerous for us to climb.
The worst part is you get quite high and then you walk along a little thing and there's a big metal slide, and Sensei walked down and then disappeared down the slide. And my mind was really, it was a very interesting state in my mind. I was like, that looks really high, are we going to die? I couldn't get in front of Sensei. I would have got to get in front of Sensei so I can see if I die first, and then am I going to land on her? Anyway, it was not so bad.
We were like, oh yeah, 5-year-olds do this. It must be okay.
Okay, next slide. And then celebrating the Sangha, and thanks again, Tony, for a beautiful picture. And yeah, I think Sensei's commented often, but I think the Sanghas really come together here at Clear Sky and globally, and really held each other, and that's been a beautiful thing. It's been lovely to see the deepening of all those threads and connections. So just want to celebrate everybody. Next slide. So we had all that amazing programming, and then I just wanted to mention we also had a lot of Sangha programming. So I want to celebrate Karen again there. So alongside being board chair, kind of our Sangha course pioneer, money and spirituality, integrated mindfulness. We did interesting things with the Cranbrook Chamber of Commerce and the Dollar Detective. Our meditation circle's been going great. Mo and Dean did an amazing Coming to Your Senses. It was sold out, right? It was sold out. And I just mentioned the Dharma course. This is a Planet Dharma course, but it was so long in the making, and Capel and Sensei were so keen to have a Dharma course. So we actually got there finally. Okay, next slide. And part of our programming offered here is the in-person, people have mentioned. So just want to celebrate our 3-month Karma Yogis and our long-term Karma Yogis. So some lovely, there's Erica with Karen with a broken knee. And that's very cute. That's me and Joy making snow angels. As non-Canadians, it was very fun.
Yeah.
Joy explained snow angels to me because I actually didn't know what they were. So that's very cute.
You did.
A very cute picture of Jordan. I think that's from America, building Orion. There's Michelle, who's moved to Clear Sky. I think that picture's from Ava. Thank you very much. And then it's not the greatest photo, but I managed to find one with Jeff and Forrest and Ava all together. I wanted to highlight the guides. So Ava was Forrest's guides, Karen was Erica's guide, and Joy's guide. So that's just such a key part. And there's, I was glad I could have Sensei and Mo in the picture too. So Sensei is the head teacher here. It's kind of seminal to all of these programs. And then Mo's being Jeff's guide. So I was very happy to get everybody in that picture.
And Jordan's guide?
I was Jordan's guide. Okay. Next slide.
Jeff's guide?
Is Mo, I mentioned that.
Yeah.
And now this slide has everything and not enough photos, but I wanted to shout out to the on-site team. We said we consider that a kind of program, so it's the residential program, and it's kind of the apex pinnacle, not for the faint of heart, fast path, living here program. And I want to shout out the tech team. And I was scouring photos last night that I might have missed. It's really, I just wanted to shout that out because it's really a big group effort. So I wanted to give a shout out to Erica, who's been the new sort of tech team for the joint PD Clear Sky role, and really stepped into leadership coordinating that. And then everybody's involved. I have a little collage of Dean, which is very cute, because since I had the great idea, we were just giving like the younger or techie people, and she said, well, let's get Mo and Dean involved. And now they've become the tech extraordinaires, and I have a little bunch of cute pictures of Dean teaching people tech. I find this so cute. Playing to Jeff and Karen, and he was like, no, Michelle, you do this. So I thought that's very funny. And it's just for everyone on site, there's a lot happening, right? We have different stations. Dave was demonstrating the slide station. Dave's demonstrating the miking station. We have the other computer station. So it's a lot going on. And a big shout out to Christopher in the background. So he's doing a lot of the tech equipment oversight from the background. He's constantly in touch with Erica. He and Michelle are now constantly in touch, sort of doing all the sort of coordinating for the behind the scenes breakout groups and flash retreat design. And so there's a big team, and it's awesome. It's working really well. And lastly, I don't have the right pictures. I just want to shout out to the Planet Dharma team, because it's very synergistic. So this guy's running, but then there's a lot that's very synergistic, like I just made a little note so I didn't forget. So Planet Dharma is really like the teacher's international voice and presence, the teaching voice. But there's a lot of interweavings, like the course write-up pages, and the registrar is Melissa, and we have Christopher I've mentioned, Bat's done awesome work on the website, and the Dharna. Kate's been around for ages, and she does all the web pages, the course web pages. Janae's taking over the social media and is doing an awesome job on Planet Dharma. Melissa's now the registrar, did an awesome job for Joy. Lisa's done an incredible job with self-study courses, so like launches of Women in Buddhism. And so it's this big ecosystem that sort of connects in so many points to Clear Sky. Tony's Mr. Video Guy, he's made some beautiful videos for us. Erica's doing a great job on newsletters and course write-ups and lots of other writings. Daniel's done an amazing job with all our opt-ins. Ariel's and Daniel worked on the podcast you heard of Capel's stories. Bill's been helping Janae on the social media. So there's this whole other sort of team that's sort of connected, and we don't have an AGM, so I thought I should just mention everybody. Okay, and the next slide. So looking forward, 2025. Well, we're already rocking and rolling. I don't think we've taken a breath, have we really? So there's Sensei rocking and rolling, teaching the Dharma, turning the wheel. So we've already had integral evolution. Sensei taught, and based on notes Capel had made, which was an awesome transition. We've had Ashtra Dharma. We're in the middle of Joy. We've got Vipassana coming up. We've got As the Spirit Moves, Sensei's version coming up, and we have 21st century Tantra coming in your lingerie. So it's a full, it's great that we planned. I think as Sensei mentioned that we planned a lot ahead. So yeah, we have a vibrant teaching schedule to roll into. Thank you, Sensei. And people have mentioned this. I just really wanted, this is a big focus. This is sort of part programming and part sort of co-executive director. It's kind of, what's a big focus for Clear Sky? So how do we, Sensei mentioned, I think in the intro, how do we sort of take things to the next level? How do we bring Clear Sky and Sensei and Planet Dharma's voice out into the wider world? So there's a big conference coming up in Europe. Sensei will be teaching, and a bunch of other people will be giving some talks. It's a great group guru. Sensei kind of led the way in Limicon that Karen brought, and did lots of talks. We're hoping to Capel's vision of aims, like packaging what we're doing as a Sangha and bringing that. We're looking at sort of vehicles for that. So, yeah, what are the seeds? Right? Where's it going next? Hopefully this is Capel's passing as a kind of, like the Terramation compost is a beautiful kind of flowering into something in his honor. So, okay. Leadership mobility. So people have spoken a little bit about this, lots of transitions. So Karen stepping down as board chair, that's amazing. So I think between Sensei and me and Karen, it's been like board chairs forever.
Yeah.
So
Loving kindness with 3 to 4 minutes.
8 to 10, that's perfect. So that's so awesome. It's so awesome that Damon and Michelle and Erica and that the board has got its new, and Richard has got its new life, and it's a big lightness. So that's what I found, and I'm sure Karen will find is it's a lot to carry, and it's amazing that that's being carried now. That's awesome. Oh, I haven't quite finished.
Claire's MacBook Air is connected.
Oh. And working with Sensei, I'll be stepping down as the Planet Dharma team lead. So we have, as I mentioned, that's been one of my, I haven't mentioned that's been one of my main jobs, but we have this sort of parallel organization. And then Michelle's here, and she's taking a lot of my programming role on. So yeah, we want people stepping into shine and into leadership in different ways. And I think it's awesome we can rotate in this way. Okay. And I don't know, do you know who made this photo? This was just so awesome. I just wanted to conclude and remark, just kind of celebrate Capel again. And I found this photo, it's so beautiful, isn't it? Just a clear sky in the background, and then it's just a beautiful, joyous moment of sort of transmission. I don't know if someone photoshopped this or how that worked, but I thought, look at that, the joy of the teaching, the joy of the Dharma, and Capel wafting that over to Sensei, who's taking on the lineage leadership here, and just the joy of that, teaching and learning, and then sharing the Dharma. So may we build this, may we support Sensei and the Sangha, and may we build this place to an incredible beacon of awakening for 400 years or more.
How did we get that number 400? It's a funny number. There was a reason, wasn't there?
Yeah, I don't
With
remember.
7 generations.
Walking in the first day in 2005, and that just take 400 years. But I don't remember where it came from.
There was a particular reason we said 400, but I can't remember what it was. You know, my mind goes to like 7 generations, but that's much longer than 7 generations.
I wondered if it was connected to the Oxford story with the wood that was growing.
Oh gosh, good memory, Michelle. Yeah, the trees that were grown to replace the wooden ceiling at the library at Oxford.
Right.
Oh, good memory.
Maya just shared that she photoshopped the bubble photo.
Kate, did you do that to make sure that Martin's van was in the background?
Yes.
That beloved van, which brought all of the original furnishings to Clear Sky from Vancouver. The van was so full you couldn't put a piece of paper in it. It was quite amazing.
I think it's.
I'd just like to add to what Duncan said. In case people aren't aware, you might know this already, but part of the motivation for Duncan stepping down from Planet Dharma team lead is we'd really like all the people living at Clear Sky to be able to devote their attentions to being on the Clear Sky team. And we'd like to really empower people who are not living at Clear Sky to cultivate this virtual Sangha that we've been talking about developing under the auspices of Planet Dharma. And so that's a really, Duncan's done an amazing job in helping us get here. And I think that's also a really exciting frontier, that people who are here can really be here full time, and attention can really be here full time, and then people who are virtual can really lean into that very important space for so many people worldwide, virtual community.
And next up, we have the last on-site presentation before Sensei closes the meeting with the body team of Maureen and Dave.
Thank you, Dan. We just had a last minute speaker switch. Are we okay?
We're good?
Yep. Hi, Dave.
Hello.
It's like I'm with the emperor or the king or something. I don't even have to squat. I can just stand here in my full glory and he still towers above me.
I think you can stand next to him, just between the camera and Dave, so.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, you know, so everybody said it, and the lineage all the way back, right? Thanks to that. Thanks for the present embodiment hanging in and shining so well. I've just got a whole bunch of rock and roll videos to show for the entertainment portion of the body, and then Dave's gonna do a different still image rock and roll show.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's right.
Do you want to say anything else now?
No.
We'll just
I'll say
launch.
more later. We'll
Okay.
launch.
There's one video at the end that is a little bit older than a year, but I just thought it was such a nice tearjerker for everybody with Capel, so I just stretched the timeline a little bit. Hit it!
Okay.
It's always hard to know where to look.
I guess to speak to the benefit of karma yoga and going into the body during the process, I find it helpful. Sometimes when the work is on a cushion, it can be a bit difficult to get into a space. Whereas with karma yoga, although you might not be having the opportunity to have like a still mind, you're focusing energy and attention onto tasks that are more beneficial than the me or the I.
With body karma yoga, it's grounding, and it's a great way to focus your awareness. I find with, well, let's say non-body karma yoga, it's easy to go in your head, and with body, it's like you, in a sense, you have to be there, and it's a great practice for awareness, because everyone has a body, right? So born with, and yeah, it just feels really natural, and then with the body you see the fruits of your labor.
Karma yoga is a great way to meditate in action. I'm a physical person. I like to do work, so physical work. So just like I said, helps me get into my body. Allows me to notice my states as I'm doing something, allows me to, conscious of how forcefully I might be doing something or how conscientious I am. And in terms of, the physical work that we're doing now here at the compost pile, we're turning our scraps into great compost to give back to the land. We want to heal the land here at Clear Sky, so there's getting the biology of the soil right, but then also putting compost in our gardens, our food forest, our hay fields, so that we can grow food that we can eat and, complete the cycle.
Nice. You know, I've got a mic here. Oh, everyone will hear.
How do you connect? Oh, I'm building a duck.
I know.
Clean up. Okay.
Ryan's got top billing this year, right? Done. Somebody else is working on that duck now. No pressure, Erica.
Good. What? Sorry, drawing something.
That's the behind the scenes that the teachers don't see that happens as they're coming over. The flurry of activity, the anticipation. Do I have time to run to the bathroom or not?
Darn.
Did you create all these videos?
Yeah.
Road videos
Is
gone missing?
private, unfortunately.
It's what?
It's private.
It's private.
Whose account is it on?
Maureen's, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Trying to get
Stay
it up.
tuned. In a future time, you'll see. It'll be a great cliffhanger. It's Capel showing Jasmine used to be Richard how to sew his robe. You want to see it?
Yeah.
Over to you.
Switch
places.
Okay.
You have notes?
No. See what we're doing.
We can lose. Yeah, there we go.
Great. Wow. Gosh. Yeah, this was a wonderful journey being flanked by the compassion of Capel and Sensei for so many years. I knew Capel for exactly 10 years to the day Capel happened, and I'm still marveling at the yin-yang, Cancer, Capricorn, Divine, Bikini, Daka energy that they loved and trained and prodded and chiseled away at me with. And really grateful for that. And here we are celebrating our infamous Recycling Environmental Achievement Award. That feels like years ago, but that was last year that we.
Oh, really?
received.
That was last
That
year?
was last. I'm pretty sure.
It was.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And just to keep clarifying any myths, it is from the BC Recycling Council, but the majority of the achievements on the award were from projects that Sensei spearheaded from 2005 onwards with Maureen and Michelle and the whole Karen, the whole team, as in restoring grasslands and holistic management and eco restoration, the grasslands plot, our green buildings, sky routes, and into our new recycling programs and the future. So
that award was for all
it's
of
for
us,
all of
right?
it.
Oh, wow.
Marveling at how many areas we touched that in. So yeah, appreciate the different details you each brought my attention to that were both so important. We can go to the next slide. Okay. Yeah, this might have been from 2 years ago, but we did also move hay last year. That's always a fun body guy time. So we're getting. We had last year we started having guy nights. We're moving forward into that. So celebrating the bliss of body yoga and service. Slide. We've seen this a few times, so not much more to say, but honor and appreciating how much time Capel spent going down to visit Jordan in the midst of all the wonderful things he did. Somehow, I think showing up there at least basically every day. So really nurturing that budding karma yogi to do great things.
Loving kindness, 5 minutes.
All right. These are the photos that I could find from Movement of the Mandala's kitchen. There are certainly more. Somewhere there's a video of the giant kitchen we all put together, but here's our lovely hired cook, Darcy, who maybe more than he knew, fell a bit in love with Capellan Sensei and listened into all the teachings while making us wonderful food for the 50 people we had on site. That was, I think that was more than happened in the early years, so that was a wonderful kitchen adventure that we all contributed to, and everyone ate wonderfully, and we didn't run out of coffee, and so it's a huge success. Yeah, right. And well, the Canadian rainbow body, as Sensei has coined it, erecting the wonderful maypole from the end of the movement of the mandala, and watching Capel dance above it, and shining us all with that wonderful rainbow light.
Yeah.
We put in a new heating system. Shoga's not convinced yet. It's just about working. We'll get there this year, and we didn't use any fossil fuels in the sanctuary last winter, so that's pretty cool. That's new, and our finances are showing it also. So, despite some setbacks, which I won't get into, it's exciting and adventurous.
Great.
We said see you later to a lot of people for very different reasons. So lots of love to Hart, who we were so grateful to visit with Sensei just before he passed. I think that was just what he needed to move on, and seeing him shine throughout the day into his next bardo. Cara and Jasmine moved to different parts of the world to continue their adventures in life and unfoldment, and Pasha is somewhere in the forest and beyond. Looking forward, this is no slide, but more joy, more curiosity, more adventure, and more awakening, enjoying the powerful, masterful guru that is Catherine Sensei, continuing to lead us without missing a beat. This is, I was going to say Astro Dharma, this was before. We've already done so much teaching this year. So just shining away, teaching us. So looking forward to lots of that throughout this year. We've got a full schedule of teachings that we get to support and prepare for. What else are we looking forward to? Oh yeah, more guys doing guy stuff. Yeah. Oh my. We're here to carry stuff, I guess. And women doing women's stuff. I'll get better photos next year.
Good.
More, oh, that's a short video. Does it play? More teamwork, making the dream work.
One blue, one red, two seashells.
Okay, that's great.
Easier to melt sugar on the fridge.
5 of us unloading a bulk food order, so
Yeah, groceries.
no longer one person stuck in the garage with a bunch of boxes. We're growing our teams, which I think the next slide is also about. Oh, more time with Sangha, looking forward to. And watching our land continue to flourish. That's a semi-mature elk and a wonderful bin full of composty worms. So yeah, lots of looking forward to. And I didn't say anything about the temple, but it's going to be working with Karen and Duncan on. I don't know what to say yet, but we're going to do some great things. So I'm looking forward to how that unfolds in our wonderful fundraising efforts and Sensei's leadership across the world to support that integral dimension. And, yeah, great thanks to Maureen and Dean for a wonderful body lead for 6 years or something.
Yeah, lovely team working. Yeah.
Yay.
I think it represents that we've been doing this for 20 years, but in the past, almost every presentation ran overtime, and we are like succinct, on the dime, really doing a fantastic job. It's amazing. Such good work from all the people that have prepared. Thank you so much. I wanted to, yes.
May I say a few words? May I say a few words?
Absolutely.
I just want to give a shout out to Michelle Chareau. She's the new board member. We haven't really heard her speak this time, but we really appreciate her competency that she brings on from so many years of board experience. But most importantly, we are delighted to have her come closer to the Dharma. And we're looking forward to her spending more time here in person meditating. She's in her last chapter of this lifetime. So I'm not meaning to put you on the spot, Michelle, but I am. I'm wondering if we could hear your voice about how's it been for you being in the board, and maybe how you see your role going forward, and yeah, just a few. I'd love to hear your voice.
Oh, Karen, putting me on the spot. You never do that. Oh, gee. Well, you know, it's been an honor, I have to say. Just really getting to understand the inner workings and deepening my appreciation for all the levels of contribution that go on around the clock. It's been really good. I've had a really crazy year. I keep saying that, but I'm working at loosening that up, and I hope I can. My intention is to spend more time at Clear Sky and working with Damon and Richard and getting this temple off the ground. I would love to see that in my lifetime, and let's see how we can make that work. So yeah.
Yeah, lovely to hear your voice. Thank you, Karen, for the sensibleness to share that.
And can I say something just off the cuff? This is such a beautiful event. Sensei, thank you so much. And it's such a lovely event. I wish we had far more people here to see this, because it is such a lovely event that celebrates the year. Thank you, everybody.
And I would like Sensei to have the last word. So I want to do a quick promotion myself. I hear there's a Vipassana retreat in June. And we have the good fortune of developing a Sangha that's online. So there's an online option. I have the good fortune to be able to go to Clear Sky for that. And I'm really, really excited and very grateful for that. So anybody who's interested in insights and unfolding, I'm preaching to the choir here. Please join in. And Sensei, would you please? Yay!
Yeah. I'm curious, is this being recorded? I wonder if
Yes.
we should, so we can still share it with more people. Great.
Good, good.
And
Yeah.
please close the meeting, Sensei.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. What a joyful occasion to spend this time together and hear from everybody and hear what a beautiful year it's been, even while our hearts have been breaking, it's still been a really beautiful and wonderful year, and I know that Capel would be very proud of us. And so I'd like to close by stating the aspiration that we may honor our beloved teacher, Capel, and Namgyal Rinpoche, and the lineage all the way back by awakening ever more fully and by embracing and sharing very widely this wonderful and very unique teaching that we've been gifted from Capel and Namgyal Rinpoche and others. And we are the inheritors of this teaching. May we pay it forward for the benefit of all beings. This year, 2025, is off to an outstanding start with new breakthroughs in our work together as a Sangha, our integral practice together, and we've got the integral conference just around the corner, and that was one of Capel's final messages, right? Was let's do integral together, let's do group guru. And so I feel so great about how we are already, just yes sir. He would be very proud of us. Thank you everyone for making this experience of group guru and conscious community possible, but also joyful. And may it benefit all beings. May these wholesome and powerful activities
producing happiness and elimination.
May all beings be well,
unhappy.
including the nematodes. Hallelujah! Especially the nematodes.
Thank you all.
Are we an hour ahead of time?
About a half an hour. Little.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan, for hosting us.
My pleasure. May it benefit all beings.
Yeah.
And benefit all beings. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
I think nobody wants to leave.
No, I don't want to leave. Bye.
Ciao, everybody.
Enjoy your day.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Have a great day.
Enjoy.
Yay.
Yay.
More hearts coming. More.